It's unclear what the endgame is, former U.S. ambassador says of Trump's trade war with China. United States President Donald Trump has been extremely unpredictable, and it's not clear what the endgame of his trade war with China will be, a former American ambassador told CNBC on Friday. Trump has been wildly so. His comments came after that the U.S. is placing 10% tariffs on another $300 billion worth of Chinese goods, effective September 1. In May, the tariff announcement surprised markets and sent major indexes in the U.S. and Asia reeling, as Washington and Beijing have just restarted tariff negotiations in Shanghai this week, the first in-person trade talks since a truce in late June. The White House had He said its trade negotiations will continue in Washington in early September, according to the White House. With no clear outcome from this week's trade talks with China, Trump seemed frustrated, said Adelman. The broad concern now is that Trump's trade policy has thus far been wildly President markets. But both Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are in strong positions that support the status quo, he said. Thus, Xi is equally as strong politically, as he has the ability to rally the Chinese people through appealing to their nationalism or patriotism, the former diplomat said. Xi would argue. CNBC's Yoon Lee contributed to this report.
Raindrops, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.